But I remember that the recommendation initially was to do the number of measurements equal to the number of speakers you have plus one.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely a rule that we threw out there to make sure that we have enough information for the calculation. With active room treatment on from like room correction and bass control, we need to understand the wavefront. So we need to understand how sound is traveling across the space, not just how sound sounds in each kind of position. So you need more measurements to do that. And given the frequency range we're working with, we need those measurements to not be spaced too far apart. So the number of speakers plus one, or the amount of support channels you want, kind of in most systems meant that you would get enough density of measurements. Certainly with the Denon and Marantz devices coming out, we're aware that like maybe there's some smaller theaters or living rooms and that kind of scenario where you've got like a smaller listening environment. So, I think you've heard a couple of different rules that we've thrown out there. But generally, the more measurements, the better. If you're doing the amount of measurements we recommend, then you're generally safe. What I would say is measurements, if we don't go beyond 3 foot and as close as a foot. So, as long as we're not breaking up that measurement field beyond 3 foot, then you're safe.